Okay, this is going to be the most important podcast I might ever do. I'm going to refrain from swearing as much as I possibly can. I think this is one of the most important podcasts that I do, and this thought that I'm about to put out. And if you enjoy this, please send it to other people who might be experiencing this same frustration in modern day Sikhi, and maybe it can help them on their journey as well. Before we start, it's here, baby. The Neo Khalsa koans. You're watching this video, you see the cover. This is it. Okay? This has art from across human history with ideas that are laced from universal truths also found in Sikhi, art from Picasso, Warhol, etc., etc. Right now, the price is 50 USD, I believe. And this is pre-order. Get yours while you can. There's some big things happening in the works, and there's just some things about this book that make it very special. Get your copy while you can. And this is going to be something I'm very excited to talk about. Again, if you want to join for some of the other videos we have coming out, this Wednesday on the Patreon, it'll be, or Thursdays, I think I'll do Patreon on the Thursday. Like a little bit will be on the YouTube, the rest on the Patreon. That's going to be Khalsa and Epstein. I know. What is he going to talk about? You'll see. This episode is something that I've been thinking about for a while, maybe my entire life, really. And I'm going to present it to you guys here. And to me, this is something I've been wanting to work on for quite some time, and I'm glad that I'm finally am too. It's like I'm such a tease right now. The Nahang Exposed episode will come out in 2 weeks. I'm going to do extortions next Monday. I have a very radical approach to that. But in this episode, I'm going to talk about now this idea that I call incidentalism. Okay? So basically, this idea of incidentalism is this, right? If we in Sikhi believe a non-dual reality, right? So right off the bat, there's there's duality and non-duality. Now, I've been saying things about duality for a long time, like the AKJs believe duality, Taksal is non-dual, and etc., etc. And there's a lot of this Advaita Vedanta stuff, that you can refer to. But to me, I don't really care what these Brahmins have had to say and all the development they've done, because it's exactly the same experience I had when I was taking philosophy and epistemology and metaphysics, where it's just like, this doesn't help the common man. And I believe that Guru Nanak Dev Ji started this path, okay, the one that we owe reverence to, the reason we exist, if you're a Sikh, or just this path that was started was by Guru Nanak Dev Ji for the common man. This idea, we cannot fully understand it with the lenses we've currently created in the Panth. We cannot fully bloom the flower that the Sikhs and the Khalsa are, because we don't understand. We have had so much political turmoil, warfare, and all these things, and we've been stuck now because of certain ideas that the Singh Sabha brought, certain ideas that certain Jathebandis have brought. And so this is a radical new approach that is rooted in Sikhi, rooted in Gurmat. If you go read the Guru Granth Sahib, if you understand the concepts, you'll see that what I'm talking about is the same stuff from here. And it's also the universal ideas that I'm going to be talking about. Okay? And so I'm going to start with what incidentalism is. So incidentalism is this idea that I've created where if we believe in this non-dual version of reality, right? So you have to first go with non-dual. If you go with duality, this doesn't work and you get stuck along a lot of places, especially if you read the Guru Granth Sahib. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But if you believe in a non-dual understanding or principle of the world, then everything is God. You are God. Everything is God. It's all God. Okay? You can basically say that God is. Full stop. Now, incidentalism is the idea that what makes a Sikh equals somebody who follows love and truth. Okay? These are the two core tenets of what makes somebody a Sikh. Somebody who wants to pursue love, and they love so much that it leads them to wanting to know the truths, right? So they have a love of truth. All right? So this leads them one way, love of truth. But the truth you will find is that the truth is love. Prem. Okay? Devotion. These are the secrets that the Khalsa, that the Gurus have told us. Now, what incidentalism is saying is that, let's say we have a man, right? So let's say we have a man, and this man wants to lose weight. This man is me. And so this man wants to lose weight, and he goes to the doctor, right? He goes to the doctor and he says, I want to lose weight, right? And the doctor says, run, and you will lose weight, equals losing weight. But he goes, doctor, I don't like to run. I don't like to exercise. And the doctor said, well, then you're not going to lose weight. But he's like, well, I don't want to run. But every single day, this man, he gets chased exactly at 9 p.m. for 2 hours. Okay? And so incidentally, he didn't want to run because he doesn't like exercising to lose weight. But because he's being chased around, incidentally, his running from this guy who's chasing him is leading him to lose weight. So even though he doesn't prescribe to this, he still falls in the category of losing weight, because incidentally, the thing he's doing, which he might want to do or not want to do, or I guess he wants to do running because he wants to get free from this person, it's him helping him lose weight. So in this regard, I'm basically putting out this idea that anyone in existence, not even on planet Earth, in existence, that follows love and truth equals a Sikh. So this could be an atheist, this could be a Muslim, this could be a Hindu, this could be a Christian. It doesn't matter. Every single person on this earth who is seeking love and truth, the seekers, they are a Sikh. It's a term that basically everyone will be enveloped by. You can't escape it. The only way you're not a Sikh is if you pursue hate and lies. I hate lies a lot, which is why I'm so fervor, right? There's been so much hate people have been seeing on the podcast. No, it's love. It's angry love for all the lies and me trying to correct them that I see in the community, in the Panth. I'm not doing this because I want people to leave Sikhi. I'm not saying this stuff because I'm just trying to start something. I'm saying this because there's so many lies, and the average person, again, we are now in this bummer-eyed era where the common man once again cannot deal with the love and truth and find it. Sikhi has become so hard. Sikhi has become ritualized. It has become bummer-fied. Okay, so this idea is very simple, right? I'm slowly gonna go through that incidentalism says that everyone incidentally is a Sikh. They're not a Gur Sikh, they're not a Gurmukh, they're not a Guru, they're just a Sikh. They're on the path. Everyone instantly is a player in the Natak of God. Okay? If you are born, if you exist in this reality, and you can, as an option, pursue love and truth, you are a Sikh. Okay? But now, what is the goal of a Sikh? Okay? The goal of a Sikh is to unearth yourself. Because again, if we go with the non-dual idea of God, God is within us. Now it is our problem, our life's mission to unearth it. So these pictures right here is Michelangelo's unfinished sculptures. So you can see the rough work of a man being unearthed from the rock, right? You see it. This is his face, the torso, the arms, the latta. And so he is, and this is another one, arm, legs, torso. If God is within us, because God is non-dual, because it is all God, you need to unearth yourself from that rock. This body, this mind, these illusions are hiding God. And so just like Michelangelo, when he hits that chisel and he unearths these masterpieces, we are all masterpieces waiting to be unearthed. But we are not going to be unearthed. We're not going to be discovered the same way. We are going to be discovered in a very unique way to us. A lot of that stuff is also covered in the book. So, cop it. So the question here is now in a little bit of a mystery about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. It's not like, this is not like the piece of the puzzle that like breaks the whole story open, but I mean, it does tell us a lot, right? So the thesis here is that we all need to have the human experience. And we know this because Guru Nanak Dev Ji is here as a human. No one has ever reported that Guru Nanak Dev Ji was some alien being. He looked like a human. He walked like a human. He talked like a human. He communicated. So from a very reductionist point, Guru Nanak Dev Ji appeared to be human. All right? I know some people be like, he was God, whatever, he's an avatar. Whatever, I don't care what you say. He appeared. It seemed like he was a human. Okay? Now, one of the big points that I want to say here about when we unearth is love and truth are like the forces that you need to go towards, and the things that will propel you there is creation or derivatives of creation, which are creativity and imagination. Okay? So let's use Guru Nanak Dev Ji here as an example, right? Guru Nanak Dev Ji goes on these udasis or travels. Okay, look it up. The first question is, does he write all of his Bani before or after/during? So during his trips, before he starts his travels, is he writing the Bani first? So does he write Siddh Ghost, this conversation he has with Siddhs? Does he write that before he even goes? Or does he write it after he experiences it? Okay? Experience. Does he experience the thing and then write it? Or is it already in his head? Well, you can make the argument like this. It was already in his head. It was already there. It was already there, right? Because the components to make it already there were there. But he still had to experience it, to unearth it. Those experiences that allowed him to write that Bani had to be unearthed. Okay? So we can say that his experience does in some way or another. We can't speak to such a metaphysical level, because again, I'm trying to make this for the common man, for the average person, the monne, the women who enjoy clubbing on the weekends, like the people who have not been able, like I see these videos of these gatka competitions or akhadas, and like people are not at these things. They're not at these ransabais. Like, sure, the same people that I've known for the last 15, 20 years, they're still there. But new people are not coming. New people are not joining. Instead, people are breaking off slowly. People have better things to do. Okay? Because we have like shrunken and tried to make this like distilled essence of what being a Sikh is. And we need to open it up. We need to open up the floodgates so that people can feel connected from a very simplistic level. And that's what this is going to be about. This might be one of my longest podcasts. So like, please bear with me. I think I haven't sworn yet. So, I mean, that's good. Okay? So I'm going to argue that Guru Nanak Dev Ji experienced it. It might seem to us that he experienced it. He might not actually have experienced it. Like maybe it was already there and he had to show the world that, look, I experienced these things to write them. But From our illusion, he clearly experiences these things before he writes about them. So he does the experience, then he writes about them, okay? So he was a traveler, all right? He was a poet. And these things make him into this very unique figure, okay? So this thing about poets, right? Poets and prophets, okay? A lot of time these poets, they unearth something that allow us to experience the divine, right? That's what, so if Guru Nanak Dev Ji wrote Bani, right? Bani is in Guru Granth Sahib. Guru Granth Sahib is a gateway to experience divine. Okay? So creating words and art is how you tap into the divine, because it is creation, right? A lot of these like Nirmala scholars like always talking about, can sugar taste sugar? No, but being separated from the divine is sugar, and only by being separated, this illusion that we experience of Maya, of the separation, is now we can experience that sugar. When you're that sugar, when you're God, right? So when you're God, God equals the sugar. You, right, non-dual, it's all God. Remember, God is. You can't experience God. You cannot have the illusion to think that you're experiencing God, right? Because even at this level of sugar, right? Experiencing sugar is just brain chemicals hitting and firing in your synapses to make you think that you're doing something that lights up parts of your brain. But some people might have sugar and be like, that's disgusting, right? So the trippiness of reality, the illusion is that you're supposed to be able to experience God and taste that sugar. Obviously, all people are not going to be able to, but most likely if you can tap in, right, through a gateway, through these gateways that many people have created. Another amazing gateway at Professor Jang is the Iliad, this amazing poem about Odysseus and Achilles, and where Achilles learns love and forgiveness, where Odysseus tells him great things, and it's very intelligent, and there's these speeches, and you get to live these lives and connect with the divine. Many people have written things like this. You have the Iliad, you have the Upanishads, you have Paradise Lost, okay, by John Milton, I believe is his name. These poems, this divinity, this art, this creation, right? Guru Nanak Dev Ji clearly created Bani, okay? He creates Bani, we experience it, and by experiences Bani, we can experience divine, okay? So look at it this way. Here's the Guru. Guru makes Bani, and then this is us. Through Bani, we can experience God. But the Guru, he has a direct tap into God. But now here's the amazing thing. This is one way you can experience God, but us, we can also create, and through what we create, we're also experiencing God. Or you can even look at it as when we experience God and create, right? It's us. Actually, hold up. It's us. And I'm going to use a different color. We experience God, and because we experience God, then we create. It works on many levels because, again, there's so many pathways. There is so much access. God is infinite. Something that is infinite, if God truly is infinite, right? Because no one wants to say God is finite. Everyone, even the duality people, want to say God's infinite, because then if he's finite, then how do you quantify God? If God is not infinite, right, then you should be able to quantify God. But if he's infinite, you can't quantify him. And the Gurus say so. So if God is infinite, that means that there's an infinite amount of ways to connect. Not just through the Guru Granth Sahib, not just through the Gurus, not just through the Upanishads or the Iliad, or even maybe there's a Granth written on some alien planet 50 billion light years away that can connect you to a Kalpurk too. That's just like Guru Granth Sahib. Because again, infinite. So we want to think in these broad level ideas of infinite, the infinity of God, infinity of creation. God is infinite through time and space, which will be important to another point I'm going to bring back later on, okay? And so when we have God, this idea in the West is that God picks prophets. Okay? It's a top down mentality. No. God is here. The Guru is here. Through the Guru chooses himself. He unearths himself to experience God and become prophet like. Okay? In the Abrahamic traditions, they'll basically always be like God chose a prophet, he sends a prophet, but mysteriously for the last 2,000 years, I guess he forgot to send guys. But in Sikhi, we believe that the Guru, you unearth yourself to then become quote unquote prophet. Don't like using the word prophet, but it'll make sense for people here because again, I'm just trying to get this really like basically out there. Okay, so you can unearth yourself to experience God and be like that person who has divinity within them and can unearth it and show other people a creation and an experience. Okay, what's my next point? Yeah, so creating words and art is how you tap into. Yeah, so creation again is how you're tapping in. You're taking in essence, right? Because now let's look at this, right? God is, how are we communicating through God? We're communicating through God through consciousness. Okay? I think most people will understand that, right? That consciousness is a prerequisite. Okay, this is a prereq to experience God, all right? Consciousness. But through consciousness, we, right? So humans have consciousness, and then they also, God is here. But through consciousness, humans, we can create. So if God created consciousness and we're using consciousness to create, our creation is divinity. Our creations are divine. Art, words, movement, whatever. Again, non-dual. It all is God. Because God can basically, God is two things. God is reality. So physical or material reality, the things we touch and like we're experiencing, and then consciousness reality or consciousness, which is all the intangible parts, the metaphysical, the what Plato would have called the idea or the place of forms. The Christians call Christ consciousness or heaven. Every religion has a different form of it or whatever. But these are just two abstractions of God. Okay. So this unearthing of the self, this whole process makes you unique. And we know that we're supposed to be unique because there's 10 gurus. Oh my God. There's 10 gurus and they were all unique. Oh, what the I almost swore. Whoops. There's 10 gurus and they're all unique. No two gurus live the exact same life. Either they do different things, married, like whatever. They're having a human experience that makes them all unique to one another. Guru Nanak Dev Ji travels a lot, right? He begins the panth or the path. Guru Angad Dev Ji, he's not traveling much. He's inventing a script for Gurmukhi. He's starting wrestling akhadas, right? Each guru is basically helping build a house, but in that regard, they're all unique, but they're all doing the same thing. Okay? So I'll give you an analogy. Let's say we're building a house. Okay? We have a carpenter. We have a framer, a plumber, the tile guy, tiler, I don't know what it's called. A tiler, you have the cement pouring guy. Everyone is doing something different, but they're all still doing the same thing. The goal of building the house is still the same thing. So building the house, these gurus, building the house was Sikhi or the Panth, but also the goal was the building the house is realizing God. Okay? So they're all in their own way. One might be the carpenter, one might be the framer, the plumber, whatever, but in the end, it is all realizing God. Incidentalism. Baby. Okay. Okay, this thing was something for the other pod, so I'm not gonna talk about this. So now we're gonna go into a little bit about Guru Granth Sahib, okay, the mysteries of Guru Granth Sahib. So we're gonna use this guy here as an example, all right? My main man, Kanye West. All right, look at him, power. Okay, so this is Kanye West's discography. Okay, yeah, you can see it. All right. Now, each album has a certain amount of songs. I think like Late Registration has like 18. You know, Jesus has 10, 12, 8 or 7, I think, on whatever, right? So let's say his grand total, all these songs from all these albums, is like 100. Okay. Now, all 100 songs, all of them equal artistic merit, which means they're all equally have the same merit. Okay. They're equal in merit, which means is one song less art than the other? Is Yeezus, or songs on Yeezus, less artistic than My Beautiful Darkest Fantasy or Graduation? No. They're all equal in artistic merit. But you, as the individual, you will like one song over the others. Okay? You will create a hierarchy. And this is the same thing that can be said for Guru Granth Sahib. In Guru Granth Sahib, all Barni in Guru Granth Sahib is equal in artistic merit, in divine merit. It's all Shabd Guru. It's all Shabd Barni. It's all important. But you as the individual, there might be certain Barni that you connect with that help you on your path, that is the toolkit that you need in this life. The multiplicity of it, all these authors, all these experiences, speaking from different angles, speaking from different ideas. Okay? And when you experience Barni, right? So now you're going to experience the songs that you truly love, or the Barni in the Guru Granth Sahib example that you truly love, then you will achieve this form of Anand. Okay? This is just one form of Anand, right? And clearly here, Kid Cudi and Kanye, before they broke up, they're having an experience of Anand together for Father Stretch My Hands. I always feel Nand when I listen to that song, and everyone's screaming in the concert and stuff. Like it's just such a great experience always. So Guru Granth Sahib in this regard is equally in artistic merit, but different shabds, depending on who you are, will hit you in different ways. Some might not hit you at all. Some might hit you a little. Some might hit you so much that they give you some sort of realization. But the Guru Granth Sahib itself is not just it's not just an insta mukti. It's not a spell book. It's not potions. None of that. Guru Granth Sahib is about connection. Okay, connection. And what does it do? How does it do connection? It creates connection. Okay, the Guru Granth Sahib is the gateway that creates the connection to the divine. But as I'm arguing with incidentalism, and I'll keep going, anything, because God is everything, anything can create that connection that leads you to the divine. Okay. So here's a few problems with Guru Granth Sahib. And I'm going to expand on this another thing. What do you guys notice here? There is no... There are no breaks. Okay? Modern Guru Granth Sahibs have breaks between the word, but Ladivar Sarups, they're all written conjoined. Now, if I gave you Harry Potter, if you knew English perfectly and I gave you a Harry Potter book and all the words were conjoined, you would have a lot of trouble reading Harry Potter. Okay? Even though you know how to read English, so I know on one level, all the texts of the time, it was written like this, right? But the argument that I'm going to make here is that why would the Gurus write Guru Granth Sahib in Ladivar, which is hard to decipher, for an illiterate common population? We're talking medieval India, okay? You think everyone was literate? Do you think women were literate? Right? We always love to say Sikhi was egalitarian, etc., etc. Do you think women were literate? Men? Mostly Brahmins and Kshatris got to be literate. So why does the Gurus make Barni so inaccessible to the common man? I'll tell you. Because the Guru Granth Sahib is the beacon. This is the community binder. This brings a community together. There is no truth in Guru Granth Sahib that is like unheard, that's like never existed before. Yes, maybe some of the truths in here might not have been written down by other people, but the truths have already always existed. Okay, some of them might have been revealed in the Upanishads, maybe in the Iliad, maybe in this, that, falana, this, whatever. But the truths have always been there. But what's not been there is creating the Sad Sangat. Okay, the Sangat is the beacon of connection, another gateway, we can call it. Right, the Sangat, this is another gateway for connection to God, right? So the Guru Granth Sahib is creating this portal, almost we could call it, right? Because, okay, you can't read Ladivar, but the Gyani, he can read Ladivar. Gyani reads Ladivar. Okay, you might not be able to do instruments and sing, but there's Kirtanis or Ragis, they can. Okay, now I want to experience the Kirtan, I want to experience the Ragis, I want to experience the Gyanis, but now I'm hungry. We also have a fix for that, langar, community kitchen, let's all get together. We also have a place we do this, the Darbar. So the Guru Granth Sahib has become this portal, this community portal that forces everyone to have to interface and have roles within the community. You have a Gyani who does understand the ability to read Ladivar. So he's the Gyani who's going to read the Guru Granth Sahib. You have the Kirtanis, people who are trained in vocal, being musicians, they're going to sing it. And then these other, the instrumentalists, they will do the instruments. The langar, the people who are going to feed the community. And then Darbar. And all this is working off of Seva. And the Gyani, this is Prema Bhakti. The Kirtani, this is Prema Bhakti. The people doing Langar Seva, this is Prema Bhakti. The people setting up the Darbar, this is... Even though, again, they're all building the house. One's a carpenter. One's a plumber. But they're all in their own way connecting and doing Prema Bhakti. Just because one guy is doing the Langar, he might not be able to listen to Kirtan, doesn't mean that, his experience is going to be diminished being devotional. The devotion is in the Langar. This Kirtani guy, he might not be able to have all the gyan and all this deep knowledge about the Guru Granth Sahib because the Ladivar situation, but him doing the Kirtan, this is his devotion. The Gyani reads Ladivar, he can't sing it, still devotion. You showing up to the Darbar, still devotion. That's the beauty of what the Guru Granth Sahib is supposed to be. It's the community binder, the beacon, the portal, the gateway. Okay? And this community, the Guru Granth Sahib, I don't want to get too deep into this. Like many scholars have written about shit like this. Whoops. But you get the point. Guru Granth Sahib is written with references to Hindu gods, to Muslims, to atheist ideas, right? So the truth is the truth, right? Like if 2 + 2 = 4 is in the Guru Granth Sahib, an atheist is not going to be like, well, I don't believe that. They're going to be like, well, I do believe that, right? And so because it has all these references, has all this ability, it transcends boundaries of religion. Okay? It transcends religious boundaries as a text. Okay? Which means that the community that is adopting it, they transcend their religious boundaries. Obviously, today, none of this is happening, right? Muslims are not coming, right? That Muslim guy did the wazoo or whatever, and these Nahangs beat him up and stuff. But back then, you would have had Muslims, you would have had Hindus, they would have showed obeisance the way they know how, and the community would have come together to show love. Okay? So now, I'm going to tell you the secret code of the Guru Granth Sahib. This is the formula. Okay? The true formula of what the Guru Granth Sahib is. So the formula is this. Ek Onkar is the key. Guru Granth Sahib is the chest. The truth. And the treasure you get from the chest is the lens of love and truth. True love, loving truth. Okay? So the key is the first most important thing. This is why the AKJs, they just, again, incidentally, they are doing the work. I will be honest here. Obviously, they're really mean to the entire community. They destroy communities that they come into. They destroy gurdwaras. They destroy people's brains. They do a lot of weird stuff. But because of incidentalism, they can still love and have truth. The problem is that there is, to some extent, a lot of hate and um, and deceit and lies. But ik onkar as the truth. So the first thing is this, right? What's so odd about this is that it's a one, okay? And there's this symbol that doesn't close. It's not a regular Uda. And Uda, I always made a joke like this is basically the Sikhi version of A1 because Uda is like the first letter A1, but whatever. Okay. So ik being one and then onkar being multiplicity or multiplicity. And together this equals oneness. But in true fashion of understanding the world, the paradox of reality will come to hit you. And the paradox of reality is this, that how do you have one many things, right? It's not one, it's oneness, right? And so ik onkar means like it's basically infinite. It's like everything, but there's only one of it. So you're part of that one. This comes to your conclusion of non-dual. Non-dual. Now, you might not accept it, that's fine. But again, if you don't understand that this is the key, and many debates have happened with it, if you can't understand that this is the key, then you can't fully unlock Guru Granth Sahib. Because once you understand that the non-dual state of reality is that it's all God, God is, then you can unlock Guru Granth Sahib, and Guru Granth Sahib is the chest. And this chest will reveal to you that there's truth and love everywhere. That atheist person who loves his child, that man who loves collecting seashells, that man who does this, or the man who makes art, or the woman who loves this or whatever, and that truth and that love that they pursue, that this is all devotion. You are not locked by these customs that only occur in northwest India. Okay, Guru Nanak Dev Ji traveled the world, or however much of the world, the known world at the time, okay? To say that only these customs are the right ones, that this boundaries are the only right ones, that this vardi, this appearance, this uniform, these rituals that we do, these are the only right ones, this completely misses the point of the non-dualness of a reality. And Guru Granth Sahib is a chest. You open that chest with the key, and now your lens is loved in truth. And now let me tell you this. If you, in an incidental world, your key is your mind. The chest is reality, both conscious and unconscious, or so like material reality, as I said earlier, and consciousness, and you still get the same truth, or you still get the same lens of love and truth. Okay, this is maybe like an advanced person, right? Like you can use your mind as the key. And the world is a chest that you open up. You read the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the Upanishads, the Iliad, the Odyssey, the Mahabharata. I like saying it like that on purpose. John Milton, listening to Kanye West, whatever. And your mind, that key can open all these. It's the kunji that can open all the truth in the world. And you will always find love and truth. Or yeah. So that's this ik onkar. This is our source code. And it's a beautiful thing to help us. And it can help other people. You know, what's amazing about this symbol doesn't appear in regular text. There's not like, you know, Pokya Pokna Uttari, Ik Onkar, whatever. And like this symbol only appears once in a real proper way where it opens Guru Granth Sahib. It's a tautology, okay? Basically, the deeper you have to go in Guru Granth Sahib is actually like the more kind of dumb you are. Because if you can write off rip, like again, if your mind can comprehend this, right off rip, you're good. Then if you, let's say you need Mool Mantra, okay, it's not bad. Japji Sahib, okay. But if you need the Guru Granth Sahib and you need to keep using the Guru Granth Sahib and you still can't see the truth, it's right in front of you, you're lost. Right? In this life, you're lost. And it's a sad reality that can happen to some people. It is what it is. Right? Some people are not destined because of Hukm and Karm. We'll get to that later as well. Okay? So this is the prime code. Okay, Ik Onkar, this is our prime code. It's the most beautiful thing that we have. All right, the Guru Granth Sahib is a treasure chest with the K. Okay, and I also said this earlier, but the Gurus, they were all creative beings. They all had creative acts. They all created. Guru Gobind Singh Ji created the Khalsa, created armies. Guru Nanak Dev Ji created Japji Sahib, created the Sikh community. They created gurdwaras. They created land acquisitions for the Sangha. They created an institution of langar. And as you'll see, the greatest Gursikhs, the greatest Gurmukhs, the greatest Khalsa also creates. also expands imagination. Because when you expand imagination, you expand consciousness. And that's God's infiniteness coming to bear. Okay? Now, let's go to Nam, okay, as a concept. So there's a line in Japsab, Namastang Narnamme. Okay? This means that there is no name for God, truly. God has all the names. Because God is. God is this, God is that. And Japsab is showing you that. Japsab is literally trying to prove to you and showing you this. Go read Japsab. And if you're a dual person, then you just have to obviously can't believe in Japsab because Namastang Narnamme, the names of God, they're just so infinite. Okay? That's why you have names like Hari or Allah in the Guru Granth Sahib, because these are just like any other names for God. They are gateways. Okay? These gateways, again, they lead you to connection, right? They create, so this thing that they're doing, the gateways create connection and boom, to God. But if God doesn't have a name, doesn't have a nam, then what's God's name? How do you connect? Well, this is the trick. Any way, infinite amount of ways to connect, infinite amount of gateways. All that matters is that you create the intention. Okay? I could use the word pen. Pen, to me, I think of God every single time. Because God made the universe, God created, and the pen was born. Through the pen, I can write Barney. Through the pen, I can recite, or I can write like Barney, as in like write down Lakari of the Khalsa, whatever, right? Through the pen, I can realize God. Okay? Through sound, through voice, right? Everything, if you create the intention for it, it is Nam, right? And it can become your keyword, your password, or whatever, that again creates connection to God, right? That's why Namastang Narnamme, or whatever, okay? And so you are able to connect through your intention, right? Because of the depth that God is. So this is why if you use the right intention with the right name, it equals Nam. Okay? So any name, right? This is another one, plus intention of God equals Nam. Again, like I said, Guru Granth Sahib has truth in it, but there's truth everywhere. That's the beauty of reality. So what? Everything only written in Guru Granth Sahib is the truth, and that's it? If somebody else says this is truth, that you're gonna be like, no, it's not written in the Guru Granth Sahib. I've had conversations with real Sikhs about this, and they go, no, if it's not written in the Guru Granth Sahib, it doesn't matter. Even though I read some spiritual text by the Buddhists, even if I'm reading spiritual text by the Christians, or here, there, it's like, no, it's not written in the Guru Granth Sahib, it don't matter. Even, and this is how lost they are, even if the same concept is in the Guru Granth Sahib, they have said to me that if I can't quote the Pankti in the Guru Granth Sahib, then it doesn't matter. This is how lost we are, guys. This is truly how lost we are. Okay? Now I want to get into the Trinity. Okay? This is a little thing I made. This one might be, brace yourself, okay? The Guru, this is the Trinity of the Guru. And we all are in this Trinity. So like I said, through incidentalism, we're all here, right? Just automatically as being babies. Because when you're a baby, you want love of your mother and you figure out life, right? You're figuring out life, and that's truth. So we all end up being Sikhs. You can either stray away from this path or you can stay on this path, and your next step ends up being here, a good Sikh. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and in tandem, they create the Guru. Okay? So we have the Sikh. Now the Sikh, this is the seeker. Okay? So just like, let's say you're wanting to learn martial arts, you're seeking a dojo to go to. Okay? You seek the dojo. And when you seek the dojo, you come across the master. This master, he's the guru. He's the guru of that dojo, right? Guru, again, is not just a word only to Sikhs. Guru just means teacher, master, all across Indian history, even before Sikhi, okay? So, like, just don't be dumb right now, please, okay? Don't start getting so mad in the thing and being like, oh, there's only one Guru. Guru is a term, Sikh is a term. These are not invented lexicon languages that the Guru's invented, okay? These are already terms that exist, okay? I have to prerequisite that. So, the master is the Guru. When you adopt this person as your master, as your Guru, you become their Gursikh, okay? So now you're that white belt, okay? When you're the white belt, you're the Gursikh. Now the Gurmukh, he is the embodiment of the Guru's teachings. The Gurmukh, he's the black belt, okay? He has now internalized all his Guru's teachings. The master of the dojo, he's taught him everything. He went from white belt, yellow belt, blue belt, green belt, brown belt, whatever. Now he's achieved black belt. He is the Gurmukh. He has fully embodied the teachings. Okay? But now, does the master want the student to always remain under him? Or does the master want the student to surpass him? I believe that the master wants the student to surpass them. And when you surpass the master, when the black belt surpasses his master, he now becomes the Guru. There's a quote that I could probably think of, something Ape Guru Tan Chela or something. I don't know. But I'm going to logically make the point about this. So you have Guru Nanak, right? You have Guru Nanak. And then he gives the guruship to Guru Angad. Okay? Very interesting things happening here. First off, Guru Nanak is the Guru, but he gives Gurgaddi to Guru Angad. Guru Nanak Dev Ji ceases to be the Guru. Now he's a Sikh, right? The Gursikh Nanak of Guru Angad Dev Ji. He, in what the history says, he becomes a Sikh of Guru Angad Dev Ji. Guru Angad Dev Ji surpasses him. Okay? Human history is a collection of us standing on the shoulders of giants. Okay, learning everything we have before us, and then we come up. Okay? Just like unearthing that stone, that technique to get that good like Michelangelo, we were not always that good at sculpting. Okay? And so then Guru Angad Dev Ji, he passes it to the next Guru, to the next Guru, to the next Guru. Now, each Guru is surpassing the past Guru. If they don't do anything and things actually go down, then they didn't surpass, they failed. But every Guru is adding to the last one, adding more, doing the Ad Granth, doing Shahidis, adding more experience, adding more stories, making the community larger, an army, etc., etc., etc. So they're surpassing the past Guru, adding more techniques, right? If this is a dojo master and it's like passing down the sword of the master, the dojo is being passed on and is being sharpened and sharpened and sharpened. And what does this culminate in? This culminates in Vaisakhi. This culminates in the Guru Gobind Singh giving Amrit to the Khalsa, creating the Guru Panth, which means that we, who are the Guru Khalsa, the Khalsa of the Guru Panth, we are meant to surpass. We are meant to take that baton and keep it going. And you know how I know this? Because Sikh history says that only a Guru, in Sikh history specifically, can give Amrit. Okay? So then how does the Khalsa give Amrit to Dasme Patshah? They would have to be the Guru. That's the only way. The Guru himself first gives the Amrit, but that Amrit, Guru Gobind Singh Ji gets it. And that is when, I believe, this is just now a separate time, that is the moment that Khalsa gets Gurgaddi. The moment that the Khalsa is able to give Amrit to the follower, to the Chela, to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, that's the moment they surpass. Okay? Now, I'm going to use art as an example. So here we have Picasso. Okay? Here's a picture by Picasso. Picasso, let's say he is in some regard a guru, because he understood all the rules of art, and then he breaks them to become even greater. So he's the Guru. We can say that Jean-Michel Basquiat, he is first the Sikh. Okay? Because again, Everything can be a portal and gateway if you give it the right intention. All right. And I'm going to use art as an example a little bit here, right? As a form of creation to make you a Sikh, Gurmukh, and then Guru. Okay. He's a Sikh. He learns from the Guru. Okay. He starts learning from Picasso. He embodies art, right? Now he's the Gursikh. And when he starts to make his own masterpieces, he is the Gurmukh. And once he embodies it all, he has become the next guru. And now there's people on earth, if you go look at art, some people are fully, completely like their guru is Jean-Michel Basquiat. You could see it in their style very clearly. Now you might say, well, art, right? Does that lead to realization? I'm going to use this example that it does. Okay. I'm skipping a little bit ahead here. Okay. So first, let's use the mandalas. These mandalas or whatever, is when these Buddhists spend weeks, maybe even months making these designs, right? These intricate designs. Okay? It's a meditative. Intention, connection. They're connecting to the mandala. They're connecting to the art. They're able to reflect. They're able to do bhakti. Even you can call it prema bhakti. That's devotion to the art. And if the art is a kalpur, because the idea for the art is coming from your consciousness. Consciousness is God. So when you create, you can tap in, man. You can tap in, brother. And so when they make these mandalas, they're doing everything. This is devotion. Okay? This is creation. This is imagination. This is expanding consciousness. Okay? This all, again, this is the plumber, this is all God. And they are creating artwork. So what is to say that creating artwork is not a realization for God in its own right? Who are we to know? Do we have a mukti meter? Do we get to decide? Do we know? Can we go like put a machine to people and be like, oh, do you got mukti, bro? Let's check. Oh, bzz, bzz, bzz. We don't know. Right? But if everything is God, this is my theory. I'm saying to you that even something like this, making art, being a Picasso and making art for the world, for so many positive emotions to be born for other people, for positive emotions of realization to be born for yourself, you are doing devotion, you are doing prema bhakti. I'll get into this even more. Right? Look at the craftsmen. These Japanese craftsmen, they see the kami. Okay? Equals God in the work. That's why they put so much effort into it, so much finesse, so much devotion, so much love, so much truth, because they see God within their works. This is a non-dual sense of reality right here, brothers and sisters. Creating. When you create, you connect. Okay? And the best example we have in the Khalsa Panth is this great Maha Kavi Santokh Singh. Okay? And I'm going to bring it all in with this guy. He writes Suraj Prakash. Basically the stories of the 10 gurus. Okay? I don't want to get into if it's true or not. That's irrelevant in this conversation. He writes Suraj Prakash, the story of the 10 gurus. Every single word, there's like 60,000 verses or something crazy. Every single word he's writing is connecting him to God. He's thinking about the Guru. He's thinking about God. Every word to him is Naam. This Prakash, this Granth, this is a creation. He is creating Naam for himself. He created his own connection through artistic achievement. He created a portal for himself. Okay? And this is why he must, actually, I don't know if he got liberated or whatever. But point being is that every single word he wrote, each letter, each word constantly reminded him about God, constantly reminded him about Guru, constantly was connection. Right? He created his own portal, his own gateway to connect. He created through creation of Suraj Prakash. But now, can only writing words? What is the bound of creation that we can do to connect? It is infinite. Okay? It is infinite. This right here is the Sphinx water erosion theory by Robert Schoch. So I like just using this example of sand. This person, They're creating ideas. They're creating ideology. They're creating theories. Even that is devotion. Even those are gateways. Even that's like love and truth. He is trying to find the truth. He might be wrong. Being wrong and lying are two different things. He is trying to find the truth. And he's only trying to find the truth because he loves to find the truth. Love of truth. Robert Schoch is a Sikh. Okay? Just like saying like he's a human, but because he's actually doing this thing honestly and through love and everything, he's a Sikh. And you can say that this is his prema bhakti. This is his devotion. Trying to understand the Sphinx water erosion theory, or creating the Sphinx water erosion theory around the Sphinx enclosure. Okay? Just wanted to throw a little bit of a conspiracy angle in, okay? Now, let's get into the prema bhakti angle. Okay? Prema bhakti is supposed to allow you to realize or have realization. Okay? And I'm going to make the argument that this happens through Guru Nanak Dev Ji's idea of Kirt, Naam, and Vand. Okay? I'm just shortening them, obviously. Okay? So, Naam, I've already explained. Anything can be Naam. Namaste Namme. Alright? Vand, this is... Let's actually do Kirt first. Okay? Kirt Karo is seeing God within your work. Okay? Just like that Japanese person, when you do work, and when you do honest work, honest equals true. Honest is also love. Okay? When you do honest work, you're loving the work you do. You're doing true work. This is a form of devotion. This is a form of prema bhakti. Okay? Just like seeing the kami in all things. Vand, this is another way of showing love and truth where you share with the community. This is another form of prema bhakti. Okay? And you can almost look at this, right? So what you love is God. What you're good at, Vand. What you can be paid for, actually, I guess this is Vand. No. Hold up, that was wrong. What you can be paid for, this is Kirit. What the world needs, Naam. Okay? The world needs more gateways to connect to God because you love it. Right? What you're good at, this Vand, you share it. If you're passionate about it, you can share these things because what you love. This is Ikigai. This is not a one-to-one. I think Ikigai is a very important concept in general because this is also like Khalsa Prema Bhakti. Because when you find the thing that is Ikigai, when you unearth yourself, right? When you become that statue, you have found Ikigai. The thing that you love, the things that you're good at, the things you can be paid for, and what the world needs. And do you see all this crossover? This is the man, the woman unearthing themselves and becoming whole, becoming full, being fully devotionally connected. Because if God is within you, when you unearth yourself, you are unearthing the truth within you, unearthing the God within you, unearthing the masterpiece within you. And God is that masterpiece. Okay? That is Ikigai, according to like my Khalsa Prema Bhakti like stance. Okay? So get it to working hard, this devotion that you do in your work, this is in a form of Prema Bhakti. Okay? And so what is Prema Bhakti? So Prema Bhakti, actually let's use this guy right here. Buddha. Okay? So this is the starving Buddha. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are his 7 chele that were following him only because he's starving. He thought he can get realization or enlightenment through starving. Okay? This was a form of bhakti he was in. Bhakti. Okay? Other people have walked to do bhakti. Some meditate by, not eating, fasting. Some people do bhakti by having near-death experiences. Some people do bhakti by doing psychedelics. Some people do bhakti. There's a story of a guy like hanging himself upside down from a well, hanging upside down. Right? What is to say that which form is bhakti? Can I think about God while I stand, while I run, while I walk, while I sit, while I lay down? What is the only way you cannot remember God? The only way physically you can't remember God is by not remembering God. That's the paradox again. The paradox of Taram. Okay? So is there a specific way you can remember God? If yes, tell us what it is. If it's whatever connects you, then it supports the idea that love and truth in any form, true love and loving the truth, is prema bhakti in itself. If you love truth, you will pursue it, and the truth you find is that it's all love. Okay, this theory basically, love, truth, they inform each other. You love to the truth, you pursue it, and the truth you find is love. Okay, true love, loving truth. Okay, so an example, the example that we can use to unearth yourself now, right, is you can read Guru Granth Sahib. I just had this picture. I didn't really have a way to like relate it, but I just wanted the Shinji picture in there. So to unearth yourself, one of the ways to use Guru Granth Sahib, for example, is write down. This is like actual stuff. You need to write down your favorite lines or panktis. Okay, the act of writing it down, this is prema bhakti. The act of thinking about these lines, this is prema bhakti. The act of internalizing these things, that's prema bhakti. The act of now embodying these lines in everything you do, this whole process, this is prema bhakti. This whole thing, this whole everything here, this whole thing, this is all prema bhakti. This is in essence the pursuing of truth because of love, and what you will find at the end of embodying is it's all love. Okay? And now I want to make a point of art as a devotion. We know creating art is prema bhakti. As I was saying, the Buddhists have used it with the mandalas. They remember, understand, and introspect, reflect while creating. They do all this stuff, right? If you're doing all this and you're working, you're doing kirt, you're creating, this is all prema bhakti still. Okay? So if you are listening to Kanye West and it reminds you of God when you listen to Jesus Walks, you can say it's prema bhakti. If it's true, not if you're lying. You're not lying to me. You're not lying to your buddies. You're not lying to other sangat. If you truly remember God and you're having the human experience that's helping you introspect, contemplate, do all these things to unearth yourself, then yeah, it's prema bhakti, of course. You know what's prema bhakti because you know if what you're doing is love. I will never know what's inside your mind. I'm no mind reader. Okay, so in the West, they have a love of duality, all right? And they have this love of duality, and because the love of duality, they see themselves different from God, and because of this, they have the obsession of godhood. They want to become God, literally in human form, which means they want to create life, become immortal, and they want to have the ability to destroy life. Okay? So you can look at this today as creating life. This is AI. Becoming immortal, this is like medicine or whatever. And destroying life, this is nukes. Okay? Of course, they're lost in the illusion to think that these are the things that make you a god. They don't. Right? We already know that that in Sikhi, right? Creating life, this is the creation. Becoming immortal, this is preservation. This is the Trinity, right? In Hinduism, they talk about this Trinity as well. A lot of religions talk about and then destruction, right? This is not exclusive to Hinduism. The truth, again, a lot of people have figured it out across the world, right? So again, they believe godhood is being able to encompass and embody, become the gurmukhs of creation, preservation, and destruction. But of course, they're lost because this is a duality approach. And in a non-dual approach, brother, you're already there. You just need to unearth it from yourself. The philosophy that I'm saying is man is already God. You just need to find God within you. Okay? And so this idea of incidentalism, what's beautiful about it as well is that we can apply incidentalism, we can apply this philosophy to society, which is what makes it, which is why I think it's the most like prudent, right? So for you as a person, if you truly have the intention to connect with everything, to remember God, then it's all good, right? Even doing fucked up things, I had to say it once, they can still connect you. Okay, so let's say art and architecture. Okay, find the truth within yourself. Art arrives at truth with love and non-dualism as currency. Architecture can create space where love and divine are accessible. Great halls make you feel small. A space where you are one with the divine is paramount. Okay? Where, they made these big cathedrals to make you feel like a small person. But again, the idea is that love and truth, spaces that really get love and truth as the message. It might be the art, the walls, the size, the space, whatever, in all this. Economics, right? In economics, we are taught that capitalism is a competitive markets. An example, I'm not saying this is literally, like, I haven't thought like everything through. Instead of capitalism being competitive markets, incidentalism is collaborative markets. And you see this to some extent, but in capitalism, you want to compete, right? You want to get the jump on the guy to get the better deal, right? So you actually collaborate with people, but it's fake collaboration. It's collaborative markets are love and truth, right? And transparency. That should be another one. And competitive capitalistic markets, this is hate and deceit. Okay? You actually don't like the other person. You don't like these other countries you're dealing with. You're actually trying to be deceitful because you're being competitive. Okay? Politics, love man enough to understand his shortcomings. If man is prone to corruption, use that knowledge to restrain politicians so corruption doesn't harm people. If we love people, we wouldn't create political systems that allow the vices of man to run wild, right? Vices run So in politics, if we understand man's vice, we create systems that actually love man enough to be like, we know you're going to be like this no matter what. We will create a system that does understand that these things will happen, but not in a hateful way where you're destroyed for it. It's a lot of, like, I am wearing my tie-dye like hippie shirt underneath. Okay? Love is creation and connection. Okay? And so, like, I want to bring this now back to Kanye West for an example, right? About the experience part, right? Like this Prema Bhakti, all this, you need to experience this. Like, you can either listen to Kanye by listening to his music, right? No, that's not what I want to say. You can experience Kanye by listening or reading. Okay? You can read his Rap Genius lyrics and do katha on them, just like Rap Genius does, or you can listen to his songs and feel the emotion. And either way, the experience is there. So this is equivalent of listening to kirtan or reading katha, or doing katha, and etc. Rap Genius basically like katha. Okay? And so I will tell you this, right? That, like, the more complicated truth has to become through crazy philosophical understandings, right? Like there's schools of thought by like these Gyanis and Brahmins and these Nirmalas and all this stuff. They make truth so hard to understand for the common person. The more complicated truth is, the more that it's untrue. Okay? This is my theory, by the way, because the fewer variables, the less variables you have, the better. So there's math equations, okay, that are literally like fucking 50 lines of equation, right? And then they actually turn out to be wrong. They're so complicated. They're trying to be truthful. They're so complicated, but they're wrong. But something like 2 + 2 = 4, so simple, and it's true, right? Sometimes the more variables you add into things to find the truth, the harder it is to actually get the truth. So that's why the truth should actually be more simple. I think that's another thing that the gurus are trying to say, that the realization is actually very simple, right? This isn't rocket science where there's so much ability to mess up because there's so many variables. It's actually a lot more simpler than you think. And what's really cool about Sikhi as well, this is just a little side fact, is that Sikhi comes from an Eastern tradition which is cyclical, okay? Time, ideas, they're all cyclical. Reincarnation, time, space, everything is cyclical. But on the other end, we have the Abrahamic tradition, okay? So the Abrahamic tradition, they're linear, okay? Time is like things go up, heaven, then hell. Like there's a linear notion of ideas and how things work. And the Khanda, which is the point, which is the triangle, it encompasses, right? So like, if imagine this is the rest of this is a Khanda, right? The Khanda, this is the double edge. that encapsulates both the cyclical nature of reality and linear nature of reality. I mean, this is literally the Deathly Hallows, right? But to me, this is the meta Sikhi system, where we are able to reflect the khanda, the double edge of the linear and cyclical natures of reality across everywhere. It's not just in Sikhi or Indic philosophy that we'll understand Sikhi. Even through Western linear ideas, we can understand Sikhi. It's all love. It's all Sikhi. It's all truth, man. Come on. Okay. So if you look at it like this, right? Sikhi today, certain groups, they'll use Advait Vedanta as a language to understand Sikhi. But this is as stupid as basically only using liberalism or feminism or whatever ism from the West to understand Sikhi. The beautiful thing is to use the khanda, the meta khanda, to go both ways, okay? The West and the East, two ideas. And in fact, the Sikhi is universal. This is Sikhi is not supposed to be a culturally cult religion. It's universal. It's for everybody. If you stuck with me this long, bro, you're goated, okay? Don't be the entertainment of Maya. Let Maya entertain you, okay? That's just a little fun thing I want to say. Okay, now I want to talk about Karam and Hukam, okay? Okay. Let's go down here. So, Karam and Hukam are two ideas that come across in Guru Granth Sahib all the time. I'm going to tell you right now, these ideas, they don't matter. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because these things will happen regardless. There's nothing you can do about it. This is like gravitation or gravity, right? You are in the gravitational pull or force of Karam. Oh my God. Karam and Hukam, no matter what. There's nothing you can do in this life to escape Hukam or Karam. You are locked in it like gravity. You are stuck within its rotational and force. Okay? And now I'll tell you something beautiful. Mukti is this idea that we all desire, okay? To be liberated, to have this realization. And I'll tell you right now, everyone will have mukti at some point, okay? It could also be said that you are experiencing mukti. You had mukti from being one, right, to taste the sugar. You got mukti from the sugar to now taste the sugar, okay? And the reason why I'll say that mukti is guaranteed for everyone because, like I said very early on, God is infinite space and time. First off, infinite is such a hard idea to conceptualize, but if we understand infinite as at a very basic level, then let's think about this. In an infinite amount of possibilities throughout time and space, mukti is just one of them. Which almost makes me think that mukti is not the point of, I mean, that's a different conversation, but mukti might not even be the point because right now, having this illusion of separation. So the Maya, right? So Maya is this illusion that we're having, right? That we are separated from Akal Purkh, that we are separated from God. It's an illusion. We're not. It's right here. God is within us. We have to unearth it, right? And so in reality, we can get mukt, we can get liberated right here when you realize that sugar of God, we can taste it right here on earth. Okay? So there's no need to be scared because you will get mukti at some point. We don't know our future lives. It's funny because everyone always talks about their past lives. No one talks about their future lives. You don't even know how many future lives you're going to have. Maybe you have quintillion, gajillion, whatever more lives. Maybe just one more. How many past lives did you have? Another thing is like, were past lives even a real thing? Don't want to get into that conversation right now, but there's something there, okay? So a philosophy either like this will super catch you incidentally, which is incidentalism, or you understand it deeply enough and go into the minds of it, right? So like Karam and Hukam, you can learn it, you can study it, right? Many like sadhus and Sikhs and Khalsa, they've studied it, but it's a term. These are ideas that super catch you. It's like the gravity again. You can't escape it. You'll be part of it. You can go study gravity. Okay, scientists study gravity. They can find, equations, whatever, and it's a super catch, but you are trapped in the gravitational pull of Karam and Hukam no matter what. So it doesn't really matter to understand it because what can you really do about it? Sure, you go study it, but like go experience life instead. Like Guru Nanak Dev Ji did not spend all his time writing treatises on Karam and Hukam. He's like, I'm bound by the laws of Karam and Hukam, whatever. I'm going to go experience reality with my best friend Mardana and we're going to have a great time. and I'm gonna write Barney. I'm gonna start a community. I'm gonna do all this stuff. Okay, he understood it, but if you read Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Barney, it's not all just about two topics, Karam and Hukam. It's about Maya, it's about God, it's about Prem, it's so much stuff, right? And so super catch is a term I'm using, right? So super catch is when a philosophy traps you, like capitalism, right? Like capitalism for many of us is a philosophy that has trapped us in a matrix without our consent. I didn't sign up to be in a capitalistic system, but I am. And this is a super catch. And so you can, I'll make the argument that incidentalism is the super catch. Because I'm basically saying to everyone, you believe in love and truth, you're a Sikh. Go find your guru, whatever type of guru that you need in this life to help you find realization. Because the Guru Granth Sahib is a prescription, right? Like those lens I said it unlocked, but everyone has different prescriptions. Some people will never understand the Muslim or the Indic references in Guru Granth Sahib. So the prescription, they'll never get a prescription from Guru Granth Sahib. Not because they're stupid, but because Guru Granth Sahib is not the guru for them to understand truth. All truth is guru. Any truth that leads you and connects you to God, makes you into a gurmukh, it's a guru. Okay? And so incidentalism is basically saying everyone, everything, all through incidentalism, you're all Sikhs basically. Okay? And you're all trying to find your gurus, trying to become Gur Sikhs, trying to find Gurmukhs to become that guru that can just have straight divine connection. Either I'm so cooked with this straight Dharam Singh Nahang level, or like, it's all love, brother. We're all going to get there together. Okay? And so I also reject another thing, which is some sadhu, some people, some holy men, some smart men. These Brahmins will say you need IQ, right? They say that you need understanding for mukti. Bullshit. Straight bullshit, okay? Some people are stupid and they don't know it. Are they fucked? If you're dumb, okay? I have two questions for you. Can a baby get mukti? Can a baby get mukti? And can a caveman get mukti? If a baby can get mukti because it's all hukam and it's karam, the karam of the baby is that it can get mukti. If yes, then understanding isn't required because a baby obviously doesn't understand. Okay? If no, then intelligence is required, which excludes people because some people are dumb. Clearly. Some people are literate. They can't read the Guru Granth Sahib. But again, do we believe that the gurus were exclusionary? No, I believe they were inclusionary. I think that's a word. That's the beauty of it. Okay? If you adopt other practices now, so now it's like, what is identity, right? Because I'm saying like you can go outside of Guru Granth Sahib to learn truth, right? And it's very simple. If you adopt other practices with love and truth, it's good. If you do love and truth for identity, anything that you use love plus truth, this is good. So I'll give you an example, right? I love Wu-Tang and Wu-Tang all the time. And by the way, for all the haters, this is a Ghostface Killer homage, brother. When I used to listen to like Wu-Tang, right? They used to be like, yo, God, what's up, God? And I used to love that. I used to love that they used to call each other God. And I used to tell my mom, she's like, that's wrong. Only the guru is God, God is God, whatever, right? Just like dumb people that don't understand stuff. But, in Ghostface Killer's The Mystery of Chess Boxing verse, like, it's the devil, psych, it's the God, get your shit right. Mega Trife, yo, I hit you in a past life. Like, so much like Advaita Vedanta stuff, low-key, non-dualistic stuff, which is why I love Wu-Tang so much, right? But even in Rastafarian culture, right? In Rastafarian culture, they go I and I. There is no you and me. There is no duality. It's I and I. Beautiful. Through smoking so much weed, they reached a non-dual sense of reality. Amazing. Again, truth can be found everywhere. But if you adopt identity through hate and lies, then this is a net negative. Okay? And then that's when you're not a Sikh. Very simply. Okay? So is Sikhi supposed to state an ethno-religious cult where it's just Punjabis, whatever? If it were universal, it should spread like wildfire. This is me trying to do the universality of it, right? Everything is borrowed anyways. Every connected, we're all interconnected because it is all God, right? So Indians have similar cosmology, right? So in India, they had all the similar cosmology and they didn't join in mass. That's a different reason, but if we don't get out of this ethno-religious cult ideal, we die. And so I think that this helps us, incidentalism, right? To get away from that. And again, so, getting back to our caveman example, can a caveman get mukti? Now, here's the thing. if no, they don't have Nam, right? Because the AKDs will be like, no, cavemans don't have Nam, and the other bullshit reason that they didn't, Guru Nanak Dev Ji wasn't born to give them Amrit, whatever. Let's just use the symbol and they didn't have Nam. Then they need language, okay? Language is precipitated by civilization, which means that only through civilization you can get it. Which, does that mean language is divine? That language is only divine? Or is it the emotion, man? Is Namo Narnamme. It has no name. It's formless. You don't need language to connect with God. That's a beautiful thing. These cavemen, primitive people, they had animal gods. They believed in the sun gods, the Surya dynasty. All right, there is no single universal material way to meet God. Meditation isn't universal. Everyone connects differently. Okay? Meditation is universal. Meditation equals universal because you can meditate in an infinite amount of ways. Prema Bhakti, like I said, through art, through studying the world, through blah, blah, blah. It's all going to connect you, brother, because it's all God. Just don't get lost in the sauce. Okay? And so I want to end this by saying that when you are connected to the one, sugar is sugar. But to taste sweetness, you take human form. Poetry lets us see divine everywhere. Reality is dictated by time and space, and we need to go beyond it. Creation is imagination, which is God. And Miles Davis once said, it takes a long time to sound like yourself, which is you need to unearth yourself and know who you truly are. You need to bring the divinity out of you, the uniqueness, because you can become like that guru and have your connection with God. All right? Now, I don't know how this is going to go. If you guys listen to the entire thing of it, dope. The last thing is the 4 C's. And the 4 C's are create, bring something to life, give life, consume, appreciate life, cavort, move your life, and commune, bring much life. Or in other ways, to create, you bring something to life. When you consume, you appreciate that life. You appreciate the art. You appreciate the creation. Cavort, you move this creation. You move your body. And you commune, you have the community with this body that you can together create, together consume, together cavort, together commune. This is incidentalism. This is going to be something that will take a lot more fleshing out to do. These are ideas that have been trapped in my mind for so long. I'm going to just see if there's anything that I've missed. I don't think so. I think Sikhi is supposed to blanket all of the human. Sikhi is supposed to be a blanket to cover all of the human condition, which is why it isn't exclusive. It is for everybody, right? Islam isn't for everybody because Islam basically takes you, puts you in a box and say, believe this. Sikhi, it's very simple. Love and truth. We are already pre-programmed for love and truth. It's deep in our consciousness. Reality rejects lies, okay? If you build a bomb and you build it wrong, so you lie, right? It's not the truthful formulas. You will know it's a lie. It won't work. Okay? I know I'm using a very extreme example, but the example is still the example, okay? When you bring truth into life, it works. When you bring truth into reality, it works. When you bring love, when you use love to bring truth into reality, it will work. Okay? So this is all an experience. We need to have this experience. Okay? Now, I summed up some of my notes, but this didn't do it fully properly, right? Let's do one last thought experiment. There is a statistical analysis we can do. All right? Which is, we don't know what's legitimate, like what exact thing will bring you mukti. Everyone's trying to figure it out, right? There's different forms of that, Vedanta philosophy. There's different forms of this or different forms of that. So we actually don't know what the percentage is of what's going to bring us closer. So now let's look at Vedanta and super understanding as a game theory, right? And so if you study all this shit that there's no, right? What's the better chance of getting mukti? The dude who didn't study or understand all this crazy stuff, or the guy who just lived his regular life? And like, let me hold up. Getting mukti, then dude who didn't study or understand it all is actually unknown what it does to your chances. I'm saying no. Okay, yeah, so basically it's saying there's people who are lost in the weeds of understanding metaphysics. Do we know that for a fact that that person is going to for sure get mukti or liberation realization? No, they're thinking that maybe becoming a nerd, right? Whoa. They think that becoming a nerd is going to up their percentage, their chance. But I'm saying that we actually don't know what's going to up our percentage and chance, because in reality, everything will up in percentage your chance. You'll get mukti no matter what in the infinite time and space of reality. If you want to cut the line, you cut the line by doing a lot of devotion, a lot of prema bhakti. Okay? So this whole like, oh, these people, we have to have understanding, we have to have learning, we have to do experience beyond experience. Fuck all that. You have your human experience with truth and love, and the rest should take care of itself. Okay. Let me just make sure I basically. Yeah, I think that's about it actually. I had a few other points, but there's one about loops. The idea is like how this kind of works. It's another conception is like it's a circle, but in actuality, it's like a spiral. It's like a stair step. And so the way it's going up, that's linear. Like I was saying, the meta system, but it's going around, that's cyclical, right? And you need to thrust either up or down, and that's the triangle, right? So to go up, it's like a spaceship. It's like going through, you need to go thrust that way. Or if you're a goddamn retard, you thrust downwards. And so that's another thing. I don't want to get too deep into that. That's its own thing. Yeah, man, whatever. I hope you enjoy that. This is the Neo Khalsa philosophy that I'm basically, I should have added that at the beginning. But yeah, this is like the Neo Khalsa philosophy. And maybe the title will say that. But yeah, I hope you enjoy that. Oh my God, my brain is like so like pooked out right now. But peace.